we've talked a lot about how Philippine midterm election years typically bode well for the local stock market. But hear this, elections also carry a positive impact on condominium sales, says property consultancy firm Colliers. Well, with us now for more is Colliers Director of Research, Roi Bondoc. So good to see you here, Joey.
Yes,
Thank you so much for
Kathy,
joining
finally,
us. I know,
after all the
it's
pandemic
been
Zoom
such a long time.
briefings, yes.
And the last one was in, I think you were in Pampanga.
Yes, that was 2020.
We did a Zoom there.
Yes.
All right, so is that right? Election years are going to bode well for the property market.
Oh, definitely.
Specifically condo sales.
That's correct. Because right now, Kathy, what we're seeing in Metro Manila is a condominium slowdown in terms of a take-up. So we're seeing a lot of unsold condominium units, whether in the pre-selling or the ready for occupancy market, right? But we believe that elections will have a positive impact on condominium sales.
Interesting you say that because you got a chart here that you wanted to show
Yes.
us that it says presidential polls are a boon to condo sales.
That is correct.
We're not in a presidential election
Yes,
year, but
yes.
it is midterm election year.
That is correct, Kathy.
Would we have the same kind of reference?
Definitely. But if you look at this slide here, for example, if you look at 2019 was a senatorial election year. And as you can see here, there was a spike in condominium sales. Of course, you can attribute that partly also to the POGO demand. Note that 2017 to 2019 were very good years for the POGO market. And we saw sizable office spaces being taken up during that period. And 2019, pre-pandemic, was a very strong year for condominium sales. So it's a mix of the impacts of the midterm elections as well as the POGO demand.
So
Therefore,
if property
yeah.
sales were votes, who wins? Because that is the question I asked in the
again,
headline
if
there.
you look at our presentations, it appears that condominium prices increased their fastest during the term of President Duterte. But of course, again, you have to look at other policies. For example, it was during the Duterte administration that enabled the POGO companies to start operating within Metro Manila. And that has had a positive impact on condominium sales, office leasing. That's why we saw a substantial increase in condo prices during President Duterte's term. In fact, Kathy, if I may add, from 2017 to 2021, the prices of house and lot-only projects in Davao region outpaced the prices of horizontal projects in Central Luzon, which covers Cebu. And that is also partly to the Duterte effect. And that is just the impact of a president or every administration. What the slide also indicates is that there is a lot of optimism. Whoever sits in Malacanang, and even if he or she is from the other side of the political fence, there's a lot of confidence and optimism into the new administration, and that is having a positive impact also on condominium sales.
But let's take a look at the POGO effect,
That is
because
correct.
that's something that we had in 2019.
Yes.
And that's something that's exited out
That's
of the
right.
markets
That's right.
this year. And that's
That's right.
having an impact on vacancy rates.
That is right.
That's at record levels. Apart from the fact that we got a key policy rate pause.
Yes.
Everybody wants a rate cut, so
Yeah.
everything's going to get cheaper for mortgages.
That's right.
But we got that in triple R cuts.
Yes.
The banks aren't really lending their money out to
That's right.
high-risk investments,
That's
going
right.
for the low risk. So you've got the interplay of factors here that might affect the glut, or at least working off that glut that you're seeing in the property market.
That is correct, Kathy. Again, just to look at the POGO demand. The POGOs have left the country. And at one point, the POGOs occupied 1.3 million square meters of office space in Metro Manila.
And that's just office space,
That's
not
just
even
the office space,
residential.
not the residential, covering about 10% of total leasable office space in Metro Manila in 2019. But imagine this scenario, POGOs leaving the Philippines, eventually vacating 1.3 million square meters of office space. Just for the office sector, we have 2.8 million square meters of vacant office spaces. And we project that it will take 7 to 8 years for those spaces to be fully occupied.
But there got to be new demand drivers then. I mean, we've known the news for some
right.
time, so I'm
That's
sure
right.
that's come in.
Interestingly, Kathy, there are demand drivers. One company is Ascendion. Ascendion is into AI software engineering, and they are locating in Makati, opening their third facility in Makati CBD. And over the next couple of months, they will be locating in Cebu, outside of Metro Manila. And they will also be raising their total workforce headcount from 6,000 to 9,000. AI, of course, there are some sectors saying AI will challenge the lower value BPO services. What has AI resulted into? The proliferation of AI. You have deepfakes, data security breaches. These companies now that are providing data security, data protection, are proliferating. Data protection shared services are coming to the Philippines. So these are new entrants, new demand drivers that will likely help fill the void left by the POGO sector.
Now, before I let you go, and it fittingly into the weekend, I know
Yes.
that you've said that the resort-themed and the
That is correct.
leisure-themed
Yes.
developments are all the rage.
That is correct, Kathy. Because if you look at certain projects in Metro Manila, they are not doing well. If you look at the 21 million project, 21 million peso per condominium unit in Metro Manila, they are not doing so well. Take up of 20%. And these were launched 2021, 2022. But when these developers go outside of Metro Manila, Batangas, you have the likes of Lanco, for example, DMCI. Lanco Spinnaker is doing very well. And DMCI launching in Benguet, resort, leisure-themed developments, Mega World into wellness, tourism, leisure destinations. You have the Brittany Group of the Villar Corporation. And these companies are taking advantage of the strong demand for resort leisure-themed developments. Why? Because they are also banking on the growth of the travel and tourism sector. After all, foreigners are allowed to own condominium units, 40%, that's a restriction, and are really banking on the huge potential of the travel and tourism. These developers are really betting big on these resort leisure-themed developments outside of Metro
Well, I'm
Manila.
seeing the white sands go there on the lead wall. It's asking me to go back to the beach. Thank you
Yes,
so
thank
much,
you,
Joey
Kathy, of
Bondoc
course.
of
Yeah, my
Colliers,
pleasure.
joining us here.